but give yourself some time, because no one else is going to give it to you. And if you don't give yourself some time, somebody is going to take your time and make you do what they want you to do with it. All of a sudden, you're going to be looking up and that time's going to be gone. It's like, dang, I should have been working on myself. I should have been working on... Last week, we talked about ghost mode. I looked at it like the art of disappearing, because some people use ghost mode as a way to detach. I watched this gentleman I know the other day named Jaron Eichner. Shout out to Jaron Eichner. And he was talking about Spider-Man. And basically, when you disappear, you don't want to detach, because sometimes when you disappear, you're disappearing for a reason. Maybe there's something that happened to you. Someone may have wronged you. It's just a new season in your life and you're making the decision and you disappear. But if you don't handle that reason why you truly disappeared, it could come back and manifest in a negative way. So when I made the ghost mode episode, the intention was to give you a list of things you could do to be productive and find your purpose within that ghost mode, right? So let's leave that alone. Let's retire that. Let's shift our focus over to the art of the early riser. And if you're listening to this episode, you are one of two people. Either you are just not a morning person, but you've considered it and you want to see how you can be more productive in your mornings, or you are seeing success in your life and you may need one or two tweaks to take you over the top from a productivity level. Sometimes it's just one or two shifts in your daily activity or even your mindset, and it'll turn everything around for you. So hope you enjoyed this video. So I was never really a morning person. Like, I was the type of person that would sleep in during the summer till like the afternoon. Yeah, I go out and play, but as I got older, became a teenager, I would typically stay in, definitely slept in, played a lot of video games, all that stuff. I was just not like an outdoorsy, outgoing person. And I didn't really like to get up early in the morning. In my 20s, I had jobs that allowed me to not have to work in the morning. I just did not like working in the mornings. I like to sleep in because I like to stay up late. You know, I'm a night owl. You know, you talk about becoming a morning person, and certainly being a morning person is not for everyone. So I'm not going to make you become a morning person. The real idea is about finding time in your day that you can protect. And I lean toward morning because I feel like the person that controls like their morning, like controls their whole day. And like you develop a whole persona in the morning, right? Like Brown University surveyed 375 people who kept 30 or more pounds off for a full year. 68% of them worked out at the same time every single day. Almost half of the ones with consistent routines trained in the early morning. So the people who actually sustain a change, protect a consistent time, most of them pick the morning. So that's where that's coming from. So I'm going to give you an example of, hey, I'm not a morning person. I have to go to work. So if you have to go to work early, I'm going to tell you, I had to work my very first job in tech sales. It was really cool. My territory was New Jersey. Shout out to the state of New Jersey. And my schedule was from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I embraced this opportunity. I'm in my early 30s. I'm a young dad, and this is my first job in tech sales. I knew this was a good opportunity. And I was like, it'd be cool to go to work this early. I never thought about it going at, East Coast hours. So it was really cool because I was able to develop a boring routine over time. I remember I ate the same thing every day, the same breakfast, same lunch, same shake for dinner. And I learned to do this over time because I had so much time in the day. I was off at 2 p.m. and my son didn't get off of daycare until like 4:30. So I went to the gym. The gym was literally across the street from where I worked. So I had like 2.5 hours. This is in my early 30s. So when I look back, I look at old pictures, I was in really good shape. I had a lot of time to focus on my self-development. So the goal of being a morning person is conceptually finding 2 hours of time that you can protect, that nobody can mess with, is yours. I just lean toward the morning because you heard the stat, and also everybody sleeps. Somebody asked me the other day, how do you make yourself more confident. And I said the best way to make yourself more confident is to do things that other people are not willing to do. I use the example of getting up early to go and work out. I get up now early at 4 in the morning to go work out, but I attribute that to my time early on in tech sales working those East Coast hours. So here's what happens. I work this job. I'm doing phenomenal at this job, and I start to see a lot of success. I'm successful physically. I'm successful professionally, family life. Everything's awesome. There's a bit of a change, and I have this opportunity to go to another place of employment. They're going to pay a lot more, mainly in salary. And you always want that comfort, especially as a young dad. So I'm like, you know what? I weigh it. I really didn't want to leave the place that I was at. I built up this whole routine. I built myself into this professional that I wouldn't have even imagined being 10 years prior. And I took the opportunity. And when I took the opportunity, this place started at like 7, 8 in the morning. So there's 2 hours, and I didn't think of going to the gym early at that time because I was conditioned to going to work early, waking up and going to work. That was what I did. And I didn't want to take the time to work on myself first thing. I was just like, let me go to work and journal when I get to work. This is something that held me back for years, not putting myself first, wait until I got to work to journal. Like personal development and professional development should be completely separate. So I get to this new job, and yes, they paid me more money, but what I lost was the opportunity to have those 2 hours to work on myself. When I went to the gym, now I'd go when I got off of work. I got off of work at like 4:30. And by the time I got to the gym, it was like an hour on the other side of town. It's like after 5:30, I'm doing a rushed workout. There's a bunch of people in the gym. It didn't have the same vibe of working out from 2 to 4, which was a great time to work out, right? So yes, you're going to get opportunities, but when you get these opportunities, make sure that they do not interrupt with that time that you develop for yourself, that protected time you develop for yourself. You know, I look at how I got through those years. That is where I started to fall off physically. Some years go by. 2015, I am a part of this mastermind, and this gentleman named Elrod is invited to speak to us, and he wrote this book called The Miracle Morning. So this is when I started to maximize my morning. It's the first time I learned this is what you do with your morning. So I'm going to teach you the acronym that I learned from the book. The version I read was for salespeople, but I'll generalize it for everyone. Basically, what you do with the Miracle Morning is you wake up at 5 a.m. and you give yourself the first 3 hours of your day. Most people aren't working until 8. So he says from 5 to 7, or at least 5 to 8, those first 3 hours are yours. They belong to you, no one else. And he gives you this acronym for how to maximize your morning. And the acronym is SAVERS, SAVERS, SAVERS. I'm going to tell you real quick what this stands for. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but when you wake up in the morning, first thing you do is you sit in silence or you pray. Second thing you do is you affirm to yourself, lots of I ams. Third thing you do is you visualize. You get deep into your visualization, right? We can talk about visualization later, but you want to really get intense about it. The next thing you do, my favorite, you exercise, move your body, get active. And then the next thing you do is you read something, enhance your mind. First thing in the morning, again, this is your time. Read something that's going to spark your mind. And then the last thing, the last S stands for scribe or write. This is when you can journal, right? So do all these things from 5 to 8. That was a big deal for me because when I read the book, I challenged myself, and I'm going to challenge you to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning for the next 2 weeks, including Saturdays, including Sundays. That was so interesting to do. I still remember the first Saturday I got up at 5 in the morning on purpose and I walked. I saw these bike riders and people walking their dogs. I didn't have a dog at the time. There was like yard sales and it just was a really nice vibe in the neighborhood on a Saturday morning. So that would be my challenge to you. And now you know what to do in that time. So the art of the early riser, again, is not about saying, hey, I get up at 5 every morning. or I get up and go to the gym at 4 every morning. The art of the early riser is about having protected time for yourself that will allow you to develop yourself. I spend 10 to 12 hours a week in the gym just developing myself. I spend about 15 to 20 hours a week with the gym included on my whole meal plan. That means I'm tracking what I'm putting into my body, I'm meal prepping, all of that. You have to do this for yourself because who's going to do this for you? No one's going to do this for you. Like, you have to spend time. So like, people might hear that I spend that much time on myself, but it's like, who's going to do it for me? I have to take care of myself so I can take care of the people around me and also be the example so they can take care of themselves and take care of the people around them. This quote from Jim Rohn, I got to have a quote, but he says, I will take care of me for you, and you take care of you for me. And we take care of each other, right? That is how it should be. Everyone should strive to be healthy in that sense. One of my favorite parts of being an early morning person is everybody's sleep is quiet. So I feel like my thoughts are also quieter. Like, I could really hone in on my thoughts. First of all, I beat the sun up. The sun is not out yet. And one of the reasons why I like to go to the gym is because it's my lab. It's my lab. Like, you got to have a lab for yourself. So when you find your time, your protected time, make sure you have a space that nobody can come and see you. That's why I like to get up early, because everybody sleep. Like, you get up and you go do your thing, whether it's a run, a walk, the gym. You have to do some physical activity. Don't not do a physical activity. So you must be active, all right? And when you get that opportunity presented to you where they're going to give you a lot of money, or they want to give you a raise, or they want to have you do this or do that, don't compromise what you've built for yourself. I've gone to many a place where the money's better, the opportunity's better, all this stuff is better, but the grass is greener where you water it, man. It may take some time to farm it, but I'm telling you, you kick yourself into high gear and you give yourself 2 hours a day of protected time, 10 hours a week, 40 hours a month. It is really going to show on you in 12 months, period. I'm proof. When you become an early riser, I believe it's just one of those things where the shift in philosophy and in knowing what to do at that time, and just start with getting up. That's it. Start with getting up at 5 a.m. every day for the next 2 weeks. And for 2 hours, protecting that time, making it for yourself. Do one of the things in the acronym, one of the 6 things in the acronym, but give yourself some time, because no one else is going to give it to you. And if you don't give yourself some time, somebody is going to take your time and make you do what they want you to do with it. And all of a sudden, you're going to be looking up and that time's going to be gone. It's like, dang, I should have been working on myself. I should have been working on advancing. And it starts with that protected time. I recommend the morning, but as long as you give yourself 2 hours a day, 2 hours a day is all you really need. So this is the reset. You've reset. You've gone into ghost mode. You've mastered your mornings. Things are vibing. Things are going well. Then you hit resistance. You hit some pressure and you hit a bit of a wall. And this is where I ran into a lot of trouble. What do you do when you run into a wall and you fall off? That's what we're going to talk about on the next episode of The Art of Being Freed. If you like this video, please like it. If you're listening, please leave it a 5-star review. Until next week, this is your guy Freed with The Art of Being Freed. I will see you soon. Peace.